I've got a submission here from Pantsy. Pantsy gave me a log. The log is a hover, and I never review those because there's nothing to see. No offense, but it's just the logs are never, there's nothing to, it's just all flat lines. So, again, my guideline is that I would like to see you, doing some full throttle maneuvers, hard turns, flips and rolls ideally, and ideally also provide high def video or at least a DVR so I can watch for things like in the last one where there was some skittering that you could see in the high def camera that validated that the things I was saying about tuning were really mattering. Okay, so I was all prepared to say, well, it's just a hover. I'm afraid there's not a lot to say here and suggest you come back for later. But I took a look at your log just on principle, and congratulations. Your tune is so bad that even in a hover, I still have something to say about it. You win a prize of sort of anyway. No, I don't mean to be mean. Look at your P term. This is a good indication, a good example for everybody. Notice that you're barely off the throttle and your P term is already getting wavy, right? And as you throttle up, well, you don't throttle up very much. You're kind of hovering at low throttle. Your P term is just going crazy. Oscillations here. Now, you talked about things being out of phase and out of sync. Don't think about that. First of all, you haven't even throttled up. You're not even flying. So you may even still be in ground effect. And by the way, if you are still in ground effect, that may explain why some of these things are happening. But like here, this kind of bobbling here could be ground effect. But just as it gets really sort of sine wave and regular here, yeah, this here is just canonical P-term oscillation. Your P gain is too high. I shudder, pun intended, to think what would happen if you actually throttled up. Oh, look, see? And I'm not even sure what's happening here because you're not really doing anything with the sticks very much. You got a little, I guess you gave it a little blip there, and that just set it off. Also, your eye gain on roll feels like it is too high. Now, that's very hard to judge because you didn't give a CLI dump, so I don't know what your gains actually are. But the fact that the I term is almost as active as the P term, look at the frequency. Look at how often it goes up and down the P term. And notice that the I term is very similar. And in fact, if we look at the gyro and the I, it almost looks like I is driving the gyro. Oh, man. So maybe what you got here, this is actually very interesting. The fact that the gyro and the I term match so closely, it makes me wonder if the P term is flipping out because your I gain is way too high. Okay, I got a hypothesis for you. Congratulations, you've submitted the first and only ever hover log file that contains something interesting. I've seen it all now. I think what's happening here is that your I gain is way too high. And so your I term should not be this active. It should be slowly going up and down. It should not be oscillating. If your I term ever oscillates like this, ever, it's too high. It's too high. So, let me put it back the way it was. My theory here is that the P term may be fine, but the P term is trying to compensate for the crazy oscillations that the I term is making. It's a good theory. See, look, notice here, the stick is centered. The gyro is negative because the I term goes negative and the gyro follows it down. And the P term says, no, stop it. Stop it. The stick is centered. Stop going negative. And the I term is like, let's go positive. And the gyro is like, okay, we're going positive. And the P term is like, no, stop. The P term is constantly trying to cancel out the gyro and negate it, and it's not enough. So the fact that they're 180 degrees out of phase here is indicative of something. It's indicative that the P term is doing the correct thing. The P term is doing the correct thing because the stick is centered. The P term is trying to negate uncommanded motion. So where's the uncommanded motion coming from? If we look at the I term, we can see the I term is leading the gyro. The I term goes up, the gyro goes up. The I term goes down, the gyro goes down. So I'm really curious to know what your roll I gain is. Well, I'd love to see your whole command line dump, but I'd love to know what your PIDs are and see if I'm right about your I. I mean, if your I gain is in the 70s, 80s, 90s, that could explain this. So very interesting. Let's see what you've done on pitch. I'm just dying to know. Oh, well, yeah. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Could you have done the same thing on both axes? Seems less likely. There's less oscillation on pitch. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna withhold judgment. I've gone out enough on a limb. I'm not going any further until I see your command line dump. And yaw's just not doing anything because you're just hovering nose out. So there's nothing for it to do. All right. Well, now I've seen it all, and now I should be caught up on these videos. So as always, hope that was helpful. Happy flying, and I will see you in a few days when I get another couple ones lined up. Thank you guys for subscribing. Thank you for watching. I'm going to go back, go work on some other videos. See you next time.